Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Gitsky. Now to the latest on the coronavirus here in Kern County. That brings the total cases to 3,377 locally. 2,181 people have recovered from COVID-19. The toll stands at 53. Currently, over 1,000 people are recovering at home and 74 are in the hospital. More than 36,000 tests have come back negative, and over 700 tests are still pending. Well, concerning new numbers show Kern is bracing for a surge in coronavirus cases and hospitalizations, and it could come very soon. 17's Alex Fisher joins us in the newsroom with more on what this new data says. Alex?
Hi, Nicole. The worst of the coronavirus in Kern County could be in February. That's about 230 days from now. That's according to a new model released by Public Health earlier this morning. But the startling new data shows our hospitals could be in trouble in just a few weeks. It is startling and shows that Kern County could exceed our normal ICU bed capacity on July 28th. That's in 6 weeks. Our county hospitals can create more ICU beds to deal with the surge, but by mid-November, we could exceed that capacity, and that could be the case for several months. It means we could be in significant trouble for nearly half a year. If trends continue, where we are today is where we will be next summer, on the other side of the curve. Health officials say if we continue to wear masks, wash our hands for at least 20 seconds multiple times a day, and practice social distancing, things could improve. We'll have a more in-depth look at this new data and what it means for all of us in Kern County coming up tonight on 17 News at 5. I'm Alex Fisher in the 17 Newsroom. Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Alex, for that. Those are some startling numbers. Well, happening later this week, those nail salons, tattoo shops, and massage parlors will be allowed to open on June 19th. Now, these businesses will have to follow health guidelines from the state. Workers and customers must wear face masks in the store. More intense cleaning practices for shared reusable items like tweezers and needles will be put in place as well. Now, some services will be limited. For example, no mouth or nose tattoos or piercings for the time being. Well, more than a week has gone by since a Black Lives Matter protester was hit and killed by a car in central Bakersfield. Now, supporters of the victim, Robert Forbes, are demanding the arrest of the driver. Forbes' family is still waiting for the DA to file charges against Keith Moore, the person who hit and killed Robert. On Saturday, they held a rally at the park at Riverwalk. Their message: the district attorney needs to bring charges against Moore. The Forbes family attorney, Amar Sergil of Sacramento, said Moore should be arrested for violating California's basic speed law. Now, that law requires drivers to maintain a speed safe for the conditions at the time, regardless of what the posted speed limit may be.
The facts in this case are that he's speeding, he's breaking the law, he killed somebody, should be arrested and prosecuted.
District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer, in an op-ed published in Saturday's Bakersfield Californian, said she will not be intimidated into charging Moore before the investigation proves its warrant. Well, in Atlanta, a Wendy's restaurant was set ablaze during late-night protests. The restaurant went up in flames as angry demonstrators took to the streets over the fatal officer-involved shooting of Rayshard Brooks. An autopsy shows an Atlanta police officer shot Rayshard Brooks in the back twice. Officers shot Brooks in a Wendy's parking lot Friday night as he tried to escape arrest. And Saturday night, that same restaurant went up in flames. Now, on Sunday, the medical examiner's office declared the shooting a homicide. Demonstrators in Atlanta continue to protest Brooks' death. Now, police are offering a $10,000 reward in connection with person or persons involved with setting that fire. Greenlaw Funeral Homes and Cemeteries wants to honor those who have died during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, because of the stay-at-home orders, people may have not been able to get together with family and loved ones for funeral or memorial services. The cemetery will place green ribbons along the entry fence of its facilities for every person who's died during this time. Greenlaw President Jim Lamar said in a statement, "We're doing our part in acknowledging those that have passed and supporting their families by creating this public memorial." He said a larger event honoring those who have died will be planned after restrictions on gatherings are lifted. Well, the city of Tehachapi is encouraging people to give the gift of life. The city is hosting 2 blood drives this month to help replenish the blood supply at Houchin Blood Bank. Houchin will supply the buses and make sure donors practice social distancing. Now, that first drive is set for Thursday at the Main Street Farmers Market from 2 to 6 p.m. The next drive is Tuesday, the 23rd at Aspen Gym on D Street from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And there's a blood drive at the Rock Church. Now, it's running from right now until 3 p.m. today. It's part of a team up between Houchin Community Blood Bank and Optimal Hospice Care. The donation campaign was launched in May to help Houchin have enough blood donors, especially after the pandemic forced many blood drives to be canceled. And right now, you can help Kern County's most vulnerable population keep cool in the hot summer by donating a fan or funds to people in need. It's our annual Keep Kern County Cool fan drive. Now, this year, we can't gather outside of our studio for the event, but you can still get involved. This year, the program is only giving out those fans to those 65 and older and 1 fan per household. Now, you can drop off the donation of a new or gently used fan at 1311 I Street from now until tomorrow. You can also donate online. Now, for more information, call 395-9787. Now, a man is still missing in the Kern River after he was trying to rescue a child and swept away by the strong currents. The sheriff's office says they were called around 2:15 yesterday for reports of a kid who went into the Kern River. But deputies say a man went in after the child about a mile from the Upper Rich Bar picnic area near Highway 178. Officials say the juvenile was safe and out of the water, but water swept the man away, prompting a search.
Investigation quickly revealed that another adult male went in after the juvenile. The juvenile was rescued and is safe. And during that rescue, the male was swept downstream in the Kern River, and currently personnel from the Sheriff's Search and Rescue Unit are conducting a search for that individual.
Crews are back out again today, continuing their search efforts. An 11-year-old girl is saved after being stuck in the Kern River. Saturday, BFD responded to the Kern River for reports of a trapped juvenile. According to BFD, the girl was stranded on vegetation in the river. A unit swam out and was able to bring her back to shore. BFD says the girl is okay and is back with her mother. Well, as warm weather settles in, it's important to stay safe. Public Health says that while water can be a lot of fun, there can be a risk of serious danger. If you're out on a boat or in a lake, it's important to wear a life jacket. Public Health also urges you to get familiar with CPR and other first aid. CPR is a life-saving measure you can perform on someone as you wait for paramedics to arrive. Also, if you have children with you on the water, make sure to keep a close eye on them. Most drownings happen when children go unsupervised, so make sure to always keep an eye on the little ones in the pool or the lake. Well, a car crash leaves 1 dead and 1 behind bars for a suspected DUI in East Bakersfield. Now, the California Highway Patrol responded to a head-on crash yesterday morning on Bena Road near New Markle Road. CHP says 26-year-old Jose Toro was driving a BMW westbound on Bena Road when, for unknown reasons, went out of his lane and crashed into a Subaru head-on. Now, the 21-year-old driver of the Subaru was pronounced dead at the scene. The passenger of the Subaru suffered minor injuries. Toro was arrested at the scene, and CHP is still continuing to investigate. The Kern County Sheriff's Office is trying to figure out how a person died in New Kern. Around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Kern County Sheriff's deputies from Ridgecrest were called to a home near the corner of Orchard Avenue and Broadway in New Kern. Deputies then brought in homicide detectives saying the death is suspicious. The person has not yet been identified. If you have any information about this case, call the Sheriff's Office at 861-3110. And the search continues for an inmate who escaped custody last week in East Bakersfield. 42-year-old Jason Rawls. He is described as a white man, 6 feet tall, weighing about 200 pounds, and was last seen wearing a brown jumpsuit. Rawls was shackled with a waist chain, cuffed by the wrist, and had his legs shackled. Deputies are still searching for Rawls, who since escaped nearly a week ago. Now, if you see the suspect, you are asked not to approach him, but call 911. Well, those at BC are finding a way to honor victims of police brutality. BC and the Danny Morrison Show are teaming up to host conversations and virtual gatherings in the name of racial justice. 2 events were last week, but starting today, part 1 of the Light a Candle conversation happens. Now, that will start at 5 p.m. There are more talks and celebrations all week, culminating on June 19th.
And taking a look at our forecast for this Monday afternoon, and temperatures are starting to rise. We're in the 80s all around the valley at this time. 72 out in Fraser Park, 72 as well in Tehachapi, and 80 up in Lake Isabella, 94 out of Ridgecrest. As we take a look at the skies, and what you see is this next week trough pushing through northern California. Not expecting much in cloud cover to make its way to Kern County, but as this trough moves through out of the north, we will see the winds pick up by this afternoon and this evening, and that's why I was talking about the wind advisory just a few minutes ago. 78 in Sacramento, 93 in Fresno today, 70s and 80s south, 96 in Vegas, and still quite hot out of Vegas. They're looking at 105 this afternoon. The beaches, Pismo, nice and sunny today, and temperatures in the 70s, 75 degrees there with a northwest wind this afternoon, 10 to 20 miles per hour. So here's a look at the Pacific, and that's the system we're tracking. It is bringing rain into the Pacific Northwest. That's where the rain will stay, but as this system pushes east in the next 24 hours, that's where those winds will be. And then by the end of the work week, we see another ridge of high pressure build back into the state, and that means warmer weather will be on the way. But we get the 90s today and even cooler tomorrow on the backside of this system. Take a look, and we've got Bakersfield nice and sunny and 83 right now. Here's a look at some of the other airports around this country. San Francisco right now, 67, Fresno, 83, Los Angeles, mostly sunny and 73 degrees. We do have some rain out of Seattle. They're at 60, but you can see no delays. And then in the East Coast, Chicago, 71 and 70 in New York. JFK right now, nice and mild. Here's a look at the national forecast for today. And we are looking at that rain in the Pacific Northwest. And then we've got some rain along the Carolinas throughout the afternoon as an area of low pressure kind of spins there. Here's a look at the temperatures. Cool day in Seattle, lower 50s. You go from the 50s to 102 right around Phoenix, 91 in Omaha, 73 in Boston, and upper 60s out of D.C. this afternoon. For us, we are looking at the 90s. 92 in Bakersfield, 93 in Delano, Taft at 90. And again, those winds picking up a little bit this afternoon. Out of the northwest, 10 to 15, possibly right around 20 miles per hour. And then for the mountains, sunny but also breezy to windy by this afternoon and tonight. Winds could gust near 40, 75 in Fraser Park, 78 in Tehachapi with 80s into the Kern River Valley. Lake Isabella, 85, 90 in Weldon. And then for the desert, it'll also be a little breezy this afternoon into this evening with that west wind, 15 to 25, gusting near 40. 88 in Mojave, 98 in Ridgecrest. Your extended forecast tomorrow, 87. Wednesday, we're back into the lower 90s and then mid to upper 90s as we round out the work week, and we'll be near 100 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For the mountains, plenty of sunshine across the board. Tomorrow, 73, right near 80 on Wednesday, mid-80s return Friday, Saturday, Sunday for you. And then for the Kern River Valley, tomorrow you're also a little cooler with the lower 80s, but then right back up into the 90s as we head into Thursday. That's a look at your forecast. Right over to you.
Thanks, Kevin, for that. In our 17 Business Watch, exciting news for Dutch Brothers lovers. It looks like Bakersfield is getting one. Now, according to their website, a new Dutch Brothers is coming to East Bakersfield. Now, this is where the coffee joint will be on Columbus Street. Now, you're still going to have to wait. The construction company says they won't be opening until at least mid-August. Well, another Bakersfield institution is opening up as part of the Phase 3 reopening plan. Now, the customer service counter at the City of Bakersfield Treasury reopened this morning. Now, you are still encouraged to make payments online, by mail, or by phone if you can. Now, if you have to come to the service counter at the City Hall North, you're asked to stay at least 6 feet away from other people and wear a face covering if you're not able to keep your distance. Now, they will be open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Well, today, another local business opened its doors once again. Now, the Rush Cycle Spin Studio in the Rosedale Village Shopping Center says it will be back in business starting today. Now, the owner says they have researched all the guidelines to reopen for Phase 3, and they feel that they are confident to let people work out in their studios while still keeping everyone safe from the coronavirus. Now, the owners say those who are not already Rush Cycle members can sign up for a free class on their website. And opening tomorrow, John's Incredible Pizza Eatery is moving now from that buffet style into an all-you-can-eat table service powered by technology. Now, you can order your food by using an app, and staff will bring you the same all-you-can-eat options, but just without the buffet style. The restaurant is opening starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Now, that's located on 3709 Rosedale Highway. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom is streaming live today to give an update on the coronavirus crisis here in our state. Today, he will be talking about the state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's take it over to him and hear what he has to say.
Roughly 21 different states in terms of total population. It's important to make this point. The state of California, the largest state in our nation, 40 million residents strong, represents the population of 21 states. So just imagine looking at that state map, putting in over 40% of America's states. And that gives you a sense of the magnitude of the state of California and the magnitude of our responsibility to approach our response in a way that addresses the needs of different parts of the state of California, different regions. Accordingly, we have long talked about the fact that our approach to addressing the issues of COVID-19, its spread, and our suppression and prevention strategies have to be from the frame bottom up. We've long talked about the fact that localism ultimately is determinative, that we recognize local conditions are distinct and unique from one another. And we recognize that conditions in far reaches of California and northern parts of the state are very different than in the San Francisco Bay Area, very different than the Los Angeles region. And accordingly, we have afforded the ability for local health directors working collaboratively with their hospital systems, working collaboratively with advocates, and working, of course, very collaboratively with their elected officials to make determinations for themselves on when to move forward through our phased-in approach. As many of you have heard me say in the past, we put up guidelines, but guidelines don't mean go. We put up guidelines that create a framework of how we believe we can reopen the economy safely, but we don't prescribe when. We maintain, because of the size, scope, and scale of the state of California, that those decisions should be made with local lens. Those decisions should be made by allowing and advancing localism to be the thrust and the guide to ultimately making the determination of when to move forward through these phases in safely reopening the economy throughout the state of California.
Speaking, and he's talking about the state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, you can continue watching Governor Newsom's whole live stream on our Facebook page and on our website, KGET.com.